Tonight, 2 people dead after a high-profile crash between Regina and Lumsden on Saturday night. How a 22-year-old man from Regina and a Saskatchewan Roughriders linebacker are being remembered. And a Regina man frustrated with delays in getting an accessible parking zone in front of his home.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Lee is away this week. We're learning new details tonight on a fatal crash that left 2 people dead. RCMP say the crash happened between Regina and Lumsden on Saturday night. A silver SUV driven by a Saskatchewan Roughriders linebacker, Jayden Dalke, was driving the wrong way when it collided with a black SUV driven by 22-year-old Bishma Rajaguru from Regina. Both were pronounced dead on scene. The crash creating an outpouring of grief for 2 families and the province at large. For one family, the loss of a football player in the prime of his CFL career. For another, the loss of a young man making a life in Canada. Sierra D'Souza Butts joins us now live in studio with the latest on what happened. Sierra, what do we know so far?
Well, this morning we heard from Saskatchewan RCMP for the first time since the collision occurred Saturday evening, where it provided a timeline of what happened leading up to this tragic accident. RCMP revealing today it did receive a report of a silver SUV leaving a business without paying for fuel in Lumsden just before 8:30 p.m. Saturday night, about 30 minutes before the crash, adding it was the same vehicle Dalke was driving. At 9 o'clock, Lumsden Fire responded to the collision on Highway 11 between Lumsden and Regina. Both drivers were the sole occupants of their respective vehicles at the time of the crash, and both declared dead on scene. Investigators say alcohol and cannabis were found in Dalke's silver SUV, adding autopsies and toxicology tests will be conducted as part of the ongoing investigation.
The RCMP isn't responsible for toxicology or autopsy results. We'll obviously be working with our partners at the Saskatchewan Coroner Service and labs to determine when that might be. I don't have a specific timeline in place right now.
Raja Guru's friends and family are currently working to make arrangements to have his body sent back to his home country in India. According to a GoFundMe, he had been living in Canada for more than 4 years, saying he came to Canada with big dreams and an even bigger heart. His future was incredibly bright, and his absence leaves a void that words simply cannot describe. RCMP say the details provided in the fatal crash are beyond the scope of what's traditionally provided, but did so because of the public's interests. They also admitted RCMP's shortfallings by not revealing these details sooner. Cole?
Thanks, Sierra. That is Sierra D'Souza Butts reporting live in our studio tonight. Now, Dalke's Roughriders teammates left to come to terms with the incident, the team returning to practice today. CTV's Jacob Carr has the details on how the Riders are remembering one of their own.
The Roughriders are banding together to remember their fallen teammate. Players like Jameer Thurman says his loss has left a void.
The last 2 years, sitting next to him in all our meetings, it was tough, but, you know, I know he's always watching over us, making sure that we are, you know, being held accountable for each other.
According to quarterback Trevor Harris, the impact of Dalke's death extends through the locker room and even branches out to the media.
It's a tough week. I mean, you can kind of feel that. I mean, I can feel the energy from you guys. You know, it's one of those things that's palpable. But if you weren't hurt or you couldn't feel that, and that means he didn't mean nothing to us.
But it's not just the team here in Regina mourning the loss of Dalke.
The amount of support that we're getting from other CFL teams and the league is really unbelievable. You know, it's a small league, and a lot of players have played with Jayden.
O'Day's comments came before RCMP released news that alcohol and cannabis were found in Dalke's vehicle, with the toxicology report still pending.
It doesn't change anything. You know, we lost a member of our organization, a beloved teammate, somebody that meant a lot to us here in our organization. It's been tough 24 hours.
Linebacker Nick Weeb says Dalke was one of his closest friends on the team, and that he will cherish the final phone conversation the two shared on the weekend when Dalke was traveling back to Regina from Alberta.
think the one thing that I'll always be able to look back on and kind of smile at is we told each other we said we love each other when we signed off the phone. So the last thing I ever said was that I loved him.
Mace says the team is leaning on one another during this trying time.
You got a bunch of the people in the building who truly care. So again, you couldn't ask to be around better people in something like this.
Adding that he wants Dalke to be remembered as a relentless competitor and somebody that always put a smile on people's faces. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
The Trans-Canada Highway is currently closed due to a serious collision near Maple Creek. Emergency crews are on scene about a kilometer east of Piapot. Details are limited, but Highway 1 is now closed in both directions for an undetermined amount of time. Police are advising drivers to be ready for delays, slow down, and follow detour instructions. For the latest on road closures, check the highway hotline. RCMP are investigating a fatal semi-rollover in southwestern Saskatchewan. Police say it happened just before 2 a.m. on Highway 1 near the community of Chaplin. A semi-driver, the lone person inside the semi, was declared dead on scene. He's been identified as a 26-year-old man from Brampton, Ontario. His family has been notified. 19 witnesses are scheduled to testify at the inquest for a man who died following a traffic stop 3 years ago in Prince Albert. Prince Albert police were trying to arrest Bowden Umferville in 2023 for outstanding warrants. A report by the Serious Incident Response Team found that the force used by police during his arrest, which included the deployment of tasers, batons, and pepper spray, was lawful. The first witness to testify today, a CERT investigator who said the force used was applied under lawful circumstances. CERT says a loaded gun was found on Umferville's person. At the end of the inquest, the jury may come up with recommendations to prevent similar deaths in the future.
When you're looking at a story in its totality, you always have to listen to both sides. And so I hope that people, when they're watching these videos or hearing the news, that they think of Bowden's side.
These include the doctor who performed Umferville's autopsy. A Saskatchewan couple who died after being attacked by a bear in northern Saskatchewan last week are being remembered for their kindness, generosity, and their love for their family. A reverend with Christ the King Church in Regina says Jay and Deb McDonald were visiting a cottage at McTavish Lake, about 90 kilometers north of L'Orange, last Wednesday when the attack happened. Kim Newen says Jay's body was found the day of the attack and Deb was found a day afterwards in the woods, adding the church has plans to commemorate their lives. The Ministry of Community Safety says conservation found and euthanized the bear suspected in the attack, and a necropsy was scheduled to be taken place in Saskatoon. Weyburn police have charged 2 men, including a man from the United Kingdom, with drug trafficking offenses. Police say an investigation into opium trafficking led to the charges against the pair, one from Weyburn, the other from the UK. The 2 face charges of opium possession for the purpose of trafficking, among other drug-related crimes. Both accused appeared in Weyburn court this morning. A Regina man is frustrated by a long wait for installation of an accessible parking zone in front of his home. He says he applied to the city last fall, and despite getting approval, the sign still hasn't been built. Wayne Mantica reports.
Jerome Stang has a mobility issue that makes it difficult to get to his car. He says a lack of on-street parking in front of his home has made the situation even more challenging.
Several surgeries, I had implants done. I can walk days, and there's days I can't walk.
Last November, he applied for an accessible parking sign in front of his house. It was approved, but months later, he is still waiting for the city to install the sign.
I'd like to know why they don't want to help me out. I had a sign put up on my previous address. It took them 2 days and no questions. Like for some reason now, we're talking over 200 days, no sign.
In a written statement, the City of Regina said the city prioritizes accessible parking signage requests and begins work on them once the construction season begins at the end of April. The application has been approved and is currently in the queue for installation.
Like that's phenomenal, over 250 days of waiting.
The city did not provide a sign installation date. Jerome Stang believes accessible parking signs should receive higher priority. Wayne Mantica, CTV News, Regina.
Sabine Ahmed joins us now for our first look at weather conditions in southern Saskatchewan. Sabine, things have gotten a little bit smoky, not quite to the same level that we saw at points last year, but just a little bit that you can notice that haze.
Yeah, we can start to feel the effects, or at least see the effects of the smoke. We're seeing those air quality warnings in the northern parts of the province, and now we may start to see the air quality levels change as we head into tomorrow for parts of central and southern Saskatchewan. Even taking a look outside in Regina, you'll see coming up in the forecast through our Skycam, there's a bit of haze in the distance, but we did have a pretty average day temperature-wise in the Queen City and in most of southern Saskatchewan. Average temperature about 25, 26 degrees. We warmed up to 25, felt closer to about 28, 29 late this afternoon, and that'll continue into tomorrow before we start to see those temperatures climb back into the 30s, and by the weekend feeling closer to 40 for some parts of southern Saskatchewan. I'll have all the details coming up in your full forecast. Cole?
All right. Thank you, Sabine. Well, the province is boasting some strong trade numbers that are helping Saskatchewan separate itself from its provincial counterparts. Keenan Sorokan has more on the economic outlook.
A new report from Statistics Canada shows Saskatchewan's wholesale trade grew by more than 17% from May 2026 compared to May 2025. That includes an increase of nearly 10% over the last month, putting Saskatchewan first among all provinces.
I think we'll continue to see Saskatchewan, be at the top or very near the top of economic growth across Canada and a net contributor to this country's economic strength.
Premier Scott Moe has been busy going to at least 10 countries for various trade missions over the last 2 years. Strengthening those relationships and encouraging new ones has had a helping hand in diversifying the marketplace and increasing the province's manufacturing sales numbers.
In China and or India, we have been in both of those countries when, Canada and, for example, India's relationship was not that strong.
And that's been felt in the private sector. Last week, the Saskatchewan Trade and Export Partnership hosted an agriculture showcase, putting buyers from 14 countries in a room with 25 Saskatchewan businesses to work out potential deals.
It makes the job of putting those products in the hands of global customers an important piece of work that we're proud to do.
Stats Canada says Saskatchewan's biggest gains came from food manufacturing sales, and that's what brought Pilar Ortiz from Colombia, which buys 1 million tons of wheat from Saskatchewan every year. Growing that strong relationship face-to-face was an opportunity she couldn't pass up.
The work of the farmers in Saskatchewan is appreciating my country because we appreciate too much the quality of the wheat of Saskatchewan.
Lane says interest from places like South Asia and Latin America is all part of the expanded trade market of the growing Saskatchewan economy. Keenan Sorokan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, if you thought you needed mountains to have good mountain biking, you'd be just a little off. In fact, right in our own backyard, Saskatchewan's Buffalo Pound Provincial Park is now home to a new trail specifically for mountain biking. Mick Favel takes us on the ride.
Biking legend Lisa Franks doing the honors, opening Saskatchewan's newest biking trails. Located in Buffalo Pound Provincial Park, Franks says riders of all levels can enjoy the paths.
This is such a great trail for people to advance their skills, even adaptive riders. A lot of our trails, you find you're just going really slow and cautiously, but on this trail you can start to develop your skills.
Those in the biking community say trails in Saskatchewan are unique, with some created to take advantage of the flat elevation. The new trail is likely to shock new and experienced riders.
They'd be surprised on how much elevation is out here and what we've done with the elevation to make it more mountain bike friendly, so it's like professionally built, so it's a proper trail.
The trails have been in development for a few years and are located at the Old White Track Ski Hill. Approximately 1,000 meters in length, this trail includes berms, rollers, and jumps.
The mountain biking community is already quite vibrant in Saskatchewan, and Buffalo Pound is one of the premier locations for that. This is a great addition to further complement the already existing trail network.
The government of Saskatchewan helped fund the construction of the trails, contributing $125,000. It took only 8 days to construct and has already dealt with heavy moisture this year. Those who helped say it is showing its sturdiness.
With regular maintenance through a weekly and then a yearly audit, this trail could last forever, and it definitely has the opportunity to build out a future and larger network here at Buffalo Pound.
Those looking to try the new trails can do so by paying the entry fee to the park, which also gives them access to other areas. Mick Favel, CTV News, Buffalo Pound Provincial Park.
One lucky dog is now safe after surviving on its own in the forest near Prince Albert National Park. As Carla Shinkaruk explains, the community rallied together to get the little pup out of danger in the wilderness.
He's staying in this area, and then across the road he goes.
This is the small dog that had many people in and around Prince Albert National Park worried last week. Kelly Patrick came upon a cyclist in the ditch in this forested area about 4 kilometers southwest of the town site of Waskesiu.
So I stopped and I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm okay." And then I said, "Well, what are you doing?" He goes, "Well, there's a dog that I just saw that ran into the trees." And I said, "Well, did you call the park?"
The park was notified, but Patrick also took to Facebook to spread the word.
We were all concerned because the bugs are very bad. There's a lot of fox, there's coyotes.
Video of the lone dog in the wooded area started making the rounds online. Comments flooded social media. People concerned that the area is also known for bears, wolves, and other predators. It's not exactly clear how long the dog was out here, but it was at least one night. As more people tried to help, the dog kept its distance. Treats and friendly calls not working.
This little dog in Waskesiu, he's like creating his own little status there.
Dave Magnuson, a dog behaviorist, says that's not unusual. The dog was operating on instinct.
Seeing the dog, seeing his pupils, seeing energetically what I saw is a dog that was actually wanting to not be held captive anymore, wherever he was.
He says as descendants of wolves, dogs still carry a natural survival skill that can help them get by for a short time. But because this guy was alone, the story could have ended very badly.
Doesn't have all the skills. He's a smaller creature. He's not a big, and even a bigger dog in the wild is going to be hunted out by a pack of coyotes or a pack of wolves.
In the end, it took some quick thinking from this rescuer with a net to finally get the dog to safety. Now, after an adventure that captured the attention of many strangers across the region, the pup is recovering in foster care in Humboldt. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Waskesiu.
Still ahead, what we know so far about new American tariffs on Canadian goods, and examining U.S. claims that Canada isn't doing enough to prevent wildfires. News on the trade war with the United States. The White House has announced new 50% tariffs against Canada on a wide array of products. The White House says Donald Trump signed 3 proclamations to impose additional 50% tariffs on certain goods from Canada. It says it's in response to, quote, Canada's discriminatory treatment of American exports on cars, alcohol, and dairy, and that the products covered include everything from wine to hockey sticks and cement. The White House says the tariffs apply whether or not a good is covered under CUSMA and will take effect in 30 days. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has blamed what he calls Canada's wildfire mismanagement for the smoke wafting down from Canada to the U.S. But what does Canada have in place in terms of policy and prevention? CTV's Heather Wright has more.
Nearly 1,000 wildfires are burning across Canada right now, most of them caused by lightning, and many considered out of control.
These fires are so intense that you almost can't fight them. You almost have to move people away from the fire zone, and even water bombers can't do it. It's almost you need weather. I mean, weather caused many of them, and weather has to put them out.
And while fires are part of the natural ecosystem in northern Canada, climate change means summers are warmer, the vegetation is drier, making fires more extreme.
We have had bad fire seasons in the past, but we have bad fire seasons more often now because of climate change. That's quite obvious.
This year is already rivaling 2023, the most destructive fire season in Canadian history. Thousands of people have been evacuated from their homes, and air quality has been impacted in major cities across North America. But forestry professor David Martell refutes claims that these fires are caused by forest mismanagement.
There's no truth whatsoever to those. We know how to manage forests and we know how to manage fire. But however, we cannot extinguish every fire that occurs, and sometimes these agencies get overwhelmed.
Experts say the biggest contributing factor to intensifying forest fires is climate change, but there are things communities can do to protect themselves. That could include constructing fire breaks, clearing debris along the perimeter of town, and building homes with fire-safe material. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
In the Middle East, the U.S. began a new round of strikes against Iran today. It followed a 9th straight night of American attacks that prompted a response. Tehran retaliated by attacking U.S. allies in Kuwait and Bahrain, home of the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet. The Iranian strikes followed a new round of American attacks on command centers, launch sites, and communications networks, among other targets. U.S. President Donald Trump says the strikes honored the 3 American service members killed in recent Iranian attacks. Elsewhere, Yemen's Iran-aligned Houthis say they will impose a naval blockade on Saudi Arabia, potentially opening a new front against the U.S. in its war with Iran. Moscow's mayor claims Ukraine fired more than 400 drones towards the capital in the latest major attack on the city. Russian officials say the drones were fired late Sunday until early today, with most downed far from the capital. 85 were intercepted. 10 people were reportedly injured, while several residential buildings and civilian infrastructure were damaged. Ukraine says it hit logistics facilities and an oil depot in the Moscow region. The blitz came hours after Russia attacked Kyiv and other Ukrainian cities with ballistic missiles. Back in Canada, the search for a missing 11-year-old Calgary boy is now in its 5th day. Parker Wells is autistic and non-verbal. Police say he may not respond if someone calls his name. Officers have been playing familiar Disney songs through loudspeakers, hoping the music may attract Parker's attention or encourage him to come out of hiding. More than 300 Calgary police officers have taken part in the search, along with RCMP members and more than 100 Search and Rescue Alberta volunteers. Parker was last seen Thursday at his day home. The annual rate of inflation dropped back below 3% in June as drivers paid less to fill their gas tanks. Inflation was 2.8% in June, down from 3.2% in May. Gas prices were down slightly last month amid tentative peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. However, tensions have reignited this month, pushing gas prices higher once again. The cost of groceries in June increased by nearly 4% compared to the previous month. Beginning today, some Canadians will see an increase of roughly 2% to their federal child benefit payment. For eligible parents with kids under 6 years old, it represents an increase of $160 a year. For those with kids between 6 and 17 years old, it comes out to an increase of $135 a year. Roughly 3.6 million Canadians will see their payments increase. The Canada Child Benefit is adjusted for inflation. Coming up after your full forecast, Saskatchewan girls learning trade skills that will last a lifetime.
Attention playwrights and playgoers. On the next Your Morning Saskatchewan, we are teeing up Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan as it makes its triumphant return to Saskatoon.
Welcome back. Taking a look outside through that sky cam, certainly getting hazier as we continue to see the air quality warnings in effect for northern Saskatchewan, and just probably over the last half hour we're starting to see them expand further down into parts of central Saskatchewan. I'll show you in just a second, but what we're looking at temperature-wise, 23 degrees, feeling closer to 27, the humidex value sitting at 27, and we just started to see these air quality warnings go into place. They're all still yellow air quality quality warnings, yellow level, but that does now start to take into effect Melfort, areas like Hudson Bay under the air quality warnings. Not a time frame of how long we could see that in place for, but does suggest with the wildfires from northern Saskatchewan and northern Manitoba, it could start to cause poor visibility and air quality. Of course, if you're spending time outdoors for a long period of time, will certainly have health risks as well. So something to keep in mind there. We do have northerly winds making their way through the province tomorrow as well. So could possibly, with the winds continuing to push from the north, could possibly see some of those air quality warnings extend further into parts of the province in central southern Saskatchewan. But in terms of active weather, we're really not going to see much storm-wise. We will see a little bit of scattered precipitation. You can see even just those pockets of green around the Saskatoon, Regina area right now heading into this evening. A lot of that will clear out, so you can see by about 9 o'clock we'll be left with mostly just a little bit of cloud cover, in particular in the southwest. Continuing into tomorrow, starting the day mostly clear, but then we do see again pockets of rain coming through later in the evening and then leaving us with clear conditions as we head into Tuesday. Again, as of right now, Environment and Climate Change Canada does have the air quality level at about a 5 for parts of the province tomorrow, especially in central southern Saskatchewan. 5 for most of the day tomorrow, and then into the evening we'll start to see it maybe lower around the Regina area, could be a 4, but Saskatoon as of right now still expecting to see that air quality in a moderate risk level of about a 5. So again, keeping that in mind if you're planning on spending some time outdoors tomorrow, maybe limit how much time you're outdoors. By Wednesday evening, we will see some rain coming through parts of southern Saskatchewan, first coming through Lloydminster, Saskatoon into the Wynyard area, and then early morning hours of Thursday, Regina could see some of that rain as well, but then we'll be left again with a mix of sun and cloud conditions. Temperatures is what we're going to continue to focus on, though, and those temperatures remain in the seasonal range. 25 for Saskatoon and North Battleford, Yorkton 24, the southwest back into high 20s, 28 for Maple Creek, 26 for Swift Current and Moose Jaw in the southeast, 24 for Estevan and Assiniboia, and 25 mostly cloudy for the Weyburn area. If we take a closer look at Regina tonight, 14 is the expected low. Warming up to 25 degrees again with the northerly winds up to about 15 kilometers an hour, and a mix of sun and cloud is the expected daytime high. If we take a look at your next 7 days, not too bad. However, again, just be mindful as we approach closer to the weekend, those temperatures climbing to the 30s, the humidex value then more so in the mid 30s to high 30s. 25 tomorrow, 28 and sunny on Wednesday, and then by Thursday we're back into the 30s. 31 and mainly sunny. Of course, this is game day at Mosaic Stadium, something to be mindful of if you are heading to the game. Kickoff is at 7, so we'll start to see those temperatures cool a little, but not by much. So still a warm night for football. Friday could see a low risk of thunderstorms, but still warming up to 32 degrees. 33 and sunny on Saturday with the winds picking up to 40 kilometers an hour. And again, a slight risk of low risk of thunderstorms throughout the afternoon on Sunday. 29 is the expected high, and then by the time we get into next Monday, mainly sunny is the expected daytime high with 28. Mainly sunny, and 28 is the expected daytime high. And I do just want to point out, Cole, those lows are still looking in the high teens, close to the 20-degree mark, so we won't be seeing much relief from the heat over the weekend for sure.
When it comes to some of those 40-degree days, it always takes a little bit of getting used to. I don't know if you fully get used to it either when it gets that hot. So,
but sometimes also with those warm temperatures, we also see a thunderstorm pop up out of nowhere, so maybe that could help cool.
Exactly.
Cool.
Well, we'll keep an eye on whatever comes our way, whether it's heat, storms, or smoke. Thanks so much, Sabine.
You bet. Thanks, Cole.
Well, just because it is summer vacation and all the wild weather that can bring, that doesn't mean school is out, or at least that the learning doesn't stop for some kids in Saskatchewan. They're picking up skills that will help them over the course of a lifetime. CTV's Allison Bamford shows us how.
Chipping away at a job that requires patience. 13-year-old Aaliyah White is scraping off excess glue before she can move on to the next step.
Some of it's like satisfying, some of it's just fun to do.
These young girls are building tables and learning the tricks of the trades as part of a week-long camp offered through Saskatchewan Polytechnic.
Well, I like that it's creative. You can build whatever you want.
Today's lesson is carpentry, after learning about welding and electrical work earlier in the camp.
We learned how to make like a circuit board. I didn't know anything about that at first, and then through the camp I learned how to do that.
For many of these girls, this is their first introduction to the skilled trades, and they are building much more than just these end tables that they get to take home.
It helps build confidence in them. These skills never go away. They're always going to be useful.
Men continue to dominate Canada's skilled trades field. The most recent stats show females make up just 12.5% of apprenticeship program registrations.
We're trying to help that number grow, and whether you pursue a trade or technology, or whether you're just a homeowner, a DIYer looking to advance some of your skills, these camps are a really great starting place for these girls.
And one day these campers might become fully certified.
I'm still deciding what career, but maybe.
I would like to get a job into the trades, but I would also like it as a hobby too.
And when the dust settles, these girls will walk away with lessons for life. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still ahead, strong turnout for a World Cup final viewing party in Regina. The recap of Spain versus Argentina as another chapter of the beautiful game comes to a close.
Here's what's happening in our community. Bengoff Gateway Festival is happening on July 24th and 25th at the Bengoff Regional Park. For all the details, head to gatewayfestival.com. The Sedley Car Show and Summer Bash will be happening on July 25th at 11 a.m. at the Sedley Gym Hall. For all the details, call 306-631-5754. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, and click Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders today announcing the signings of two former NFL defenders.
Here's 3rd and 4. McCarron, pump fake and taken down. The sack by Roberson, who last week...
Defensive lineman Derek Roberson and DB Miller Bradford joined the Green and White with a combined 22 games of NFL experience. Roberson appeared in 19 games with the Tennessee Titans over 3 seasons and spent the past 3 years in the UFL with the DC Defenders. Bradford, a former TCU Horned Frog, spent 1 year with the New Orleans Saints, playing in 3 games. After a long off-season, the Regina Thunder are back and ready to start this year's junior football season. As part of this week's training camp, 58 veteran and 36 rookie players were out at Mount Pleasant Sports Park. Players are excited for this year's team, seeing a mix of experienced and rookie players.
Really pride myself in trying to be a leader and coach these young guys up, and they are really good young group and really coachable, so I'm excited to see how their careers also unfold.
Finally excited to get the pads back on and get the energy back up instead of just being in the weight room and doing all the conditioning and stuff throughout the offseason. It feels good to actually play the game we love again.
Training camp will wrap up on August 1st as the Regina Thunder take on the Winnipeg Rifles in Brandon, Manitoba for an exhibition game. Top talent in the Western Canadian Baseball League took center stage at Saskatoon's Cairns Field this weekend. The League All-Star Weekend featured a home run derby, a bunt competition, and Sunday's All-Star Game. Team East, which featured players from Saskatchewan's teams, closed out the weekend with a 9-2 win over Team West. Baseball fans said they were excited to see the league's best in Saskatoon.
Get to see all the best players in the league in your home backyard. This is great.
Super fun. You know, Saskatoon's a great sports city, so it's nice to get out to things like this and support it.
It's awesome. This is only our second time we've been at the game, but yeah, it's fun. It's a great event.
Sylvan Lake, Alberta will host the WCBL All-Star Weekend next year. People from across the country will be coming to Regina for the Canadian Francophone Youth Games slated for summer 2028. The national event features 13 teams from across Canada, each representing the provinces and territories that will participate in games involving arts, leadership, and sports at the University of Regina. The event is expected to bring more than 1,200 people to the Queen City with the goal of spreading awareness and celebrating Canada's Francophone community.
will show that. We are recruiting volunteers from across the province to make sure that we have enough volunteers to host these games. But yes, we are definitely on track to showing the rest of Canada who and where Regina is.
The organizing committee is actively looking for 600 volunteers to help with the 5-day week event taking place from July 18th to 22nd, 2028. Spain is on top of the soccer universe tonight after beating Argentina to take home the World Cup, returning with a hero's welcome to Madrid. Thousands of fans gather to see the team parade through the city's historic streets. Sunday's 1-0 win over Argentina made Spain the first country to hold both men's and women's World Cup trophies simultaneously. Regina, a good crowd on hand at Wascana Park to watch Sunday's final play out. Fans say it was great to see such a solid turnout.
We believe there's a lot of people here that love this sport, but getting to see them all out in one place, doesn't matter culture, religion, they're all out here enjoying it together, watching the finals.
It is a great event. Everybody's out here. It's honestly like something I've never seen before in Regina specifically. It's good to see the people out here and just have a good time and watch the beautiful game.
Food trucks, family activities, and more are also on hand for the all-day event. The next World Cup is being hosted jointly by Morocco, Portugal, and Spain in 2030. Still to come, a new flight to Mexico launching from Regina's airport this winter. We'll find out WestJet's latest destination.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at your rural forecast heading into tomorrow, and it's going to be another warm one for many parts of the province. More of the mix of sun and clouds, so not just completely clear conditions with sunshine, but temperatures staying in the seasonal average that we're used to seeing for this time of year. But with the humidex value, we're going to see that more closer to the 30 mark, if not a little warmer than that. But let's take a look at what's to come. 25 degrees for Hudson Bay, 25 and a little bit of rain expected for Watrous. Really light scattered showers there. 26 for Outlook and Kindersley with a mix of sun and cloud. 24 for Wynyard, Melfort, Meadow Lake, Lloydminster, and 23 for Spiritwood. And then closer to the southern border, much of the same. A little warmer in the southwest. Maple Creek, 28 with a mix of sun and cloud. 27 and a mix of sun and cloud for Leader, and then 26 for Rosetown. And then the rest, we're looking at the mid-20s. A little cloudier for Cornack at 24, 25 for Lumsden, Pilot Butte, and 23 for Broadview and Carlisle. If we take a closer look at Elbow, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel. Elbow located about 200 kilometers northwest of Regina, warming up to 25 degrees tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud with a humidex value of 29.
The incidents happened on March 6th, 7th, and 8th of 2026 at 3 different businesses in the city of Regina. 2 females have entered each of the businesses during this time and have stolen thousands of dollars worth of merchandise. The suspects are both described as heavy sets with long black hair, each time pulled back. If you know who either of these 2 women are, call Crime Stoppers.
I'm Constable Dana Adams with the Regina Police Service. Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash reward for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina. Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
WestJet is adding a new direct Mexico flight from Regina this winter. The airline will begin operating a once-weekly flight to San Jose del Cabo to Regina starting in mid-December. San Jose del Cabo is located on the southern end of the Baja California Sur, west of mainland Mexico. Regina International Airport officials say it gives a new route for travelers where the desert meets the sea. The first flight takes off December 14th. An Indigenous business group is partnering with the Saskatchewan Transit Company for a new venture. Muscatine Soto Business Developments and Transdev Canada announcing a new partnership today. The Regina-based company offering various transportation services and currently has the contract for the City of Regina's paratransit. Both partners say they're looking at expansion. Let's take a look at your farm markets. Street price for canola was up $10.90 today to the $758 per ton mark. The futures price also up about $12.20 past $810. Looking at amber durum wheat, that's staying steady at $285.20 per ton. Red spring wheat also up above the $305 mark per ton. Feed barley staying steady at $251.59 per ton. The $630 mark remains the benchmark for flax. Markets money-wise, TSX down about 300 points today to 34,960. The Dow Jones also down about 300 points to 51,839. The Canadian dollar also trading down today to 71.10 cents U.S. And now taking a look at commodities. Gold was up $1.05 past the $4,000 mark. Looking at West Texas Intermediate crude sitting at $83 a barrel. Western Canadian Select at $68.35. For gas prices, the lowest you'll find is $151.9 in Regina. The most common, though, is $163.9.
Inflation for June came in at 2.8%, down from 3.2% in May. The Middle East conflict spiked oil prices in the spring, but between May and June, they were down 10%. Prices for travelers' accommodation in Ontario and BC were both up about 20% in June. Both cities hosted World Cup games. Food prices grew at a slower pace. Brookfield Asset Management and the Canada Pension Plan Investment Board are buying LXP Industrial Trust. It is a deal worth more than $7 billion. LXP owns about 5 million square meters of real estate in the U.S., mainly warehouses and logistics facilities, and plays a role in data center storage. A dozen American states have delayed the Paramount Skydance acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery. The states are suing to block the merger, saying the $110 billion deal would damage competition in film and television. The judge is stopping the parties from moving forward for 14 days. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Well, several past and present Regina broadcasters received some special recognition over the weekend.
That's right. It was part of a gala held to mark the 100th anniversary of CKRM Radio. Among those recognized was Lauren Harrison, who pioneered talk radio in the 1960s. Tribute was also paid to the late James Allen, who was a news anchor at both CKRM and CTV Regina. Willie Cole and the late Fred King were recognized for their work as hosts of the long-running Flea Market radio show.
Well, it's truly an honor to be recognized in any way, any time, but it was a revival. It was a chance to see many of the listeners that have been with us for many years. Of course, not 100, but 100th anniversary in this industry at this time of what's happening in the country is quite an accomplishment.
James Richardson and Sons founded the radio station in 1926 to broadcast grain prices to farmers.
Well, congratulations to our friends at CKRM on 100 years. That is a big milestone.
Absolutely. Something to be so proud of.
Absolutely. It is. We had a great piece on the history of the station as well from Wayne Mantika last week, who, fun fact about Wayne, actually worked at CKRM before coming over to CTV Regina. So there you go, a bit of a full circle.
I love that. I love that. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us. So you can find any more of our local headlines online at ctvnews.ca/Regina. We hope to see you again tomorrow and tonight at 11:30. Take care.